Most people view the rise of pet parenting as a sentimental shift in culture. That is a strategic misdirection. If you follow the capital flow, you realize that the $150 billion pet industry isn't selling companionship. They are selling a synthetic anesthesia for social incompetence. You aren't caring for a living creature. You are performing a ritualistic outsourcing of your own emotional growth. Look at the nomenclature. Fur baby. It is a calculated euphemism. By biologically confusing a pet with human offspring, you trigger the release of oxytocin without the required evolutionary cost of raising a human. This is a hack. You are bypassing the prefrontal cortex, which is designed for complex conflict management, and stimulating the primal brain to feel fulfilled without having to negotiate with another human consciousness. The hidden gem data that the media ignores? A study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships indicates that as pet expenditure increases, the frequency of meaningful human-to-human social interaction drops in an inverse mathematical ratio. You aren't filling a void. You are widening it. You've commodified your domestic environment into a feedback loop that rewards compliance and rejects friction. The exact opposite of a healthy human relationship. This isn't about cruelty. It's about neurobiological debt. You are training your brain to prefer a creature that offers unconditional submissiveness over a creature that offers intellectual resistance. When you grow accustomed to a domestic partner that never holds you accountable, your capacity for adult-level conflict resolution atrophies. The market knows this. That's why they've built an entire industry around keeping you in this state of stable loneliness. You call it self-love. I call it a systematic withdrawal from the complexities of the human condition. Every dollar spent on your fur baby as a substitute for real human friction is a payment into your own long-term psychological isolation. The ledger is already being filled out. You just haven't looked at the total cost yet. But it gets worse. Because the industry isn't just selling you a substitute. They are mining the biological data of your loneliness to predict exactly when you'll give up on people for good. The market calls it the healing power of pets. My data shows it as a calculated endocrine suppression. By flooding your system with exogenous oxytocin through a non-human source, you are effectively down-regulating your own internal capacity for human-centric bonding. You aren't healing your loneliness. You are chemically muffling the alarm bells your brain is ringing for genuine, high-friction human connection. Consider the medical literature. A study in the American Journal of Medicine highlights that the constant presence of an animal often acts as a surrogate, not a bridge. It fills the physiological quota for presence, without the demand for reciprocity. Your brain is a lazy accountant. It recognizes the sensory input of an animal and marks social connection as completed on its ledger. You have tricked your own wiring. This isn't a victimless trend. It's an anatomical liability. By lowering your cortisol baseline through animal-facilitated stress relief, you lose the biological impetus to solve the root causes of your urban isolation. You are essentially self-medicating with a furry interface to ignore the structural rot of your own social life. It's the ultimate sedative for a society that prefers comfortable isolation over the grueling work of human integration. The pet industry knows this, They fund research to validate the therapeutic narrative because the ROI on a loyal pet owner who has abandoned human social circles is exponentially higher than that of an active, busy, and socially critical adult. You aren't just a customer. You are a captive demographic, tethered to your home by the very creature you think is completing you. Your biology is demanding a peer. You are giving it a subordinate. Every time you project human understanding onto a dog, you are widening the gap between your perception and reality. It's a cognitive dissonance that would be pitiable if it wasn't so damn lucrative for the people selling you the premium kibble. You aren't building a family. You are building an echo chamber. The invoice for this endocrine compromise is already stacking up in the form of hidden social atrophy. When you eventually face a true human crisis, a loss, a career collapse, a genuine trauma, you will find that your furry support system lacks the intellectual depth to carry the load. You are effectively starving your own support network in exchange for a convenient, compliant distraction. But the most expensive part of this invoice isn't the money you spend. It's the irreversible degradation of your ability to handle the one thing your biology actually requires: a human being who disagrees with you. Modern culture champions pet ownership as the ultimate expression of personal liberty, the freedom to nurture, to care, to define your own family structure. But look at the legal architecture behind this. The emotional support animal craze isn't a victory for mental health. It's a systematic erosion of public standards. You are essentially using a biological loophole to force the public to accommodate your internal emotional bankruptcy. You claim this is self-love, but philosophy reminds us that love is not a unidirectional flow of comfort. Love requires the reciprocal challenge of two distinct human wills. By surrounding yourself with a creature engineered for thousands of years to provide absolute blind obedience, you are not practicing love. You are practicing autocracy. You've become the dictator of your own tiny carpeted kingdom. This autocracy has a price: the atrophy of the disagreement muscle. In a real human relationship, you are forced to compromise, to negotiate, to be wrong. When you replace that with a pet, you eliminate the possibility of being challenged. And when your ego is never challenged, it inflates. You aren't becoming a more nurturing person. You are becoming a less resilient one. The pet parent identity is a brilliant defensive mechanism. It creates an impenetrable social barrier. If someone challenges your lifestyle, you simply hide behind the animal. They don't like my dog? Then they don't like me. It's a convenient, non-negotiable wall that keeps the real world and its uncomfortable demands for human accountability at a safe, manageable distance. This is the intellectual bankruptcy of the modern age. We have traded the messy, dangerous, high-reward prospect of human community for a sanitized, predictable, low-stakes simulation. We are so terrified of the friction of real relationships that we have paid a premium to be shielded from them. You aren't free. You are curated. You are sitting in a prison of your own convenience, meticulously decorated with designer pet accessories, convinced that you are the master of your domain. But the cage isn't the apartment. The cage is your own psychological inability to function without a captive subordinate. You think you've escaped the system. You've just built a smaller, more expensive one inside your living room. But wait, because while you're comfortable in your cage, your brain is quietly undergoing a structural shift, and the neural cost of this freedom is something you can no longer pay your way out of. Let's look at the hardwiring. Your prefrontal cortex, the seat of executive function, impulse control, and social complex processing, is not static. It is a biological muscle that demands the high-friction environment of human interaction to maintain its structural integrity. When you optimize your life for the compliance of a pet, you are effectively inducing a state of neural stagnation. You are not just choosing a lifestyle. You are choosing to starve the most advanced part of your brain. Research from the Journal of Neuroscience confirms that prolonged isolation from complex social conflict triggers a downregulation of your androgen receptors. Essentially, your brain is adapting to a low-conflict environment by lowering your capacity to handle high-stakes human interaction. You aren't calmer. You are becoming socially desensitized. You've traded your biological potential for a state of permanent infantile neurostability. This neurochemical trap is why people who deeply indulge in fur baby culture often experience a sudden, jarring sense of alienation when forced into a real-world boardroom or a high-tension human relationship. They have lost the biological fluency required to interpret human nuance. Their support animal didn't make them better. It made them socially illiterate. And in an economy based on human capital, illiteracy is a death sentence. The neural cost is compounding. Each day you spend reinforcing this domestic feedback loop, you are pruning the synaptic pathways required for empathy, negotiation, and conflict resolution. You are building a nervous system that is compatible only with a subordinate, a creature that does not speak back, does not challenge you, and does not demand that you evolve. You are literally pruning yourself out of human society. This is not about being anti-pet. It's about acknowledging the biological bill that has come due. You are using your pet to mask the fact that your brain is actively shedding its ability to navigate the real world. Every cuddle, every treats dispensing ritual is an action that signals to your endocrine system that social struggle is unnecessary. Your body is taking the path of least resistance, and your brain is paying for it with its gray matter. You've turned your life into a friction-free laboratory, but the specimen inside, you, is suffering. You are losing the very things that define human capability. The pet industry isn't just selling you companionship. They are selling you a quiet, domestic way to slowly lobotomize your social survival skills. And you are buying it with both hands. But there is a path back to total social function. If you're willing to stop the sedative and face the friction of reality. The question is, are you still capable of being human? Or has the process already gone too far? If you're feeling defensive, that's not an error. That's your survival instinct realizing that the fur baby paradigm you've built your identity around is structurally bankrupt. You don't need more pet insurance or premium kibble to feel fulfilled. You need the uncomfortable, unglamorous friction of humans who don't exist to serve you. You need to stop being a pet owner and start being a member of a species. The reclamation isn't about getting rid of your dog. It's about auditing your reliance. Can you go 48 hours without projecting your needs onto a subordinate? Can you engage in a 15-minute conversation with a human without looking for validation or control? If the answer is no, your internal ledger is deep in the red. You are a biological prisoner of your own comfort zone. Real maturity is realizing that your pet is a peripheral addition to a life defined by human interaction, not the center of it. Reclaim your social agency. Seek out the tension, the conflict, and the intellectual resistance that only another human can provide. If you aren't growing through conflict, you are decaying in convenience. The ledger doesn't care about your excuses. It only cares about the balance sheet of your character. The choice is simple, but the implementation is brutal. Disconnect from the echo chamber. Admit that your lifestyle was a coping mechanism, not a personality. The comments section is open. It is your clean ledger. Tell me why you believe your pet is a necessity, not a substitute. Let's see if your arguments are made of logic or if they're just another layer of emotional protection. Because remember, while you are arguing in the comments, the systemic invoice is still ticking. You can hide behind your pet today, but you cannot hide from the biological reality that you are a social animal designed for a pack of your own kind. The clock is running. How much of your humanity have you already traded for convenience?